Every so often, one kick changes football history. Roberto Baggio, John Terry, Bukayo Saka. One moment, and millions of fans never forget it. But here's what almost nobody knows. Penalty shootouts were not invented by FIFA. They weren't dreamed up by the English, the Germans, or the Italians, the countries that have suffered through them the most. The penalty shootout is actually widely credited to an Israeli football official after his own country got knocked out of the Olympics in 1968 by a coin pulled out of a hat. This is the untold story as to why penalty shootouts even exist. For the first 100 years of organized football, there was no penalty shootout. If a knockout match ended level, you had two options: replay the entire match, sometimes multiple times, or leave it up to pure chance. And by pure chance, I mean exactly that. Coin tosses, drawing lots. In some competitions, officials would literally pull out colored discs or slips of paper out of a hat to decide who advanced. That system finally broke football's patience at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. What happened was that the Israeli national team had fought their way to the Olympic quarterfinals. They held Bulgaria to a 1-1 draw through extra time, no winner on the field. So, the referee pulled out a sombrero. Yes, you heard that right, a sombrero. The Israeli captain reached in and pulled out a slip that read no. The Bulgarian captain pulled a yes. And just like that, Israel's Olympic run was over, decided by a hand reaching into a hat. And watching in the stands was an Israeli football official named Yosef Dagan. He walked away convinced that world football needed a way to settle these games that actually rewarded some sort of skill, not just pure blind luck. Dagan teamed up with Mika Almog, a senior figure in the Israeli Football Association. Together, in 1969, they wrote directly to the FIFA president. And their proposal was rather simple: 5 penalties each, then sudden death until one team won. Remarkably, it was almost the exact same format that football still uses today. And around the same time period, a German referee named Karl Wald was independently pushing a similar idea to the Bavarian Football Association. Football's governing bodies were clearly reaching the same conclusion from different directions. The coin toss, the drawing lots, that had to go. And in 1970, the International Football Association Board formally adopted the penalty shootout. And a few weeks after that decision, on August 5th, 1970, the first widely recognized official penalty shootout took place. Not at a World Cup, not at a European final, but in the semi-final of a now-forgotten competition in the Watney Cup. George Best had scored the first penalty in shootout history, and Dennis Law had become the first player to miss one. A stunned crowd had just witnessed the birth of the format that would go on to define and destroy decades of football careers. And UEFA brought shootouts into the European club competition in that same season. The first official one came in September of 1970. And from there, it spread fast. The 1976 European Championship final between Czechoslovakia and West Germany became the first major international tournament final decided on penalty kicks. And the best part was, the winning penalty was not blasted into the corner. It was delicately chipped down the middle. Football has never stopped calling it the Panenka. The World Cup did not see its first shootout until 1982, when West Germany beat France in a chaotic semifinal. And it took until 1994 for a World Cup final itself to be decided this way. Brazil beating Italy in Pasadena, with Roberto Baggio's skied miss becoming one of football's most haunting images ever. And here's the part that actually stings for some people. Despite writing the actual blueprint FIFA adopted, Yosef Dagan was never officially credited by FIFA as the inventor of the penalty shootout. It was UEFA that honored him later, awarding him its Order of Merit in 2002, but global football history still largely tells the story without his name in it. So the next time your team walks up to that spot, knees shaking, 90,000 people holding their breath? Remember, it all traces back to a hat, a slip of paper, and the football officials in the stands at the 1968 Olympics. Because without that draw from a hat, there would be no Panenka, no Baggio, no John Terry, no World Cup final decided from 12 yards. One slip of paper changed football forever.